Hey, second grade, welcome back to writing. We are going to go ahead and get started with unpacking our assignment today. So please make sure you have some paper, you have your writing iReady book with you if you have it there. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so that you can see our PowerPoint for today. We are on day 2 of our new lesson, unpacking our assignment. Again, make sure you have an iReady writing book with you or a paper to write on and a pencil. So you need those 2 things today. As we are reading and working on our assignment today, I want you guys to think about our objectives are I can analyze the details of a writing assignment and I can understand the goals of informational writing. So we're going to focus on what the big goal is for our writing today. So please go ahead, and today we'll be on page number 134. So if you have your book, you need to pause it, go ahead, page 134. We're going to go ahead and get started. So Leah received an assignment before she wrote her lab report. She unpacked it and began to plan what she needed to do. You'll follow the same steps that Leah took when you unpack your assignment. So let's go ahead and work through what Leah found for her assignment so that we know what to do for ours. So Leah read her assignment carefully to make sure she understood its parts. The icons before each part of her assignment helped her keep the details straight. So let's go ahead and see how Leah unpacks her assignment. Leah's assignment. The question, how can you make an object easier to lift? That's her assignment to find out. All right, so read a science article about a lever and a fulcrum. Write. Do an experiment, then write a lab report for a science fair. Explain your experiment and the results. In the beginning, tell what you wanted to find out and what materials you used. In the middle, explain what you tried and what happened. And in the end, draw a conclusion about the results at the end. So Leah used this over here. The question mark, this tells me what I needed to find out. I will answer it when I do my experiment. So her question, how can you make an object easier to lift? That's her focus. That's her whole experiment, right? All right, the book. It means I will find out what a lever and a fulcrum are and how they work. I need to explain this in my lab report. She did that for us. She said a lever is, a fulcrum is, and explained it. So we understood as readers what it was. All right. And then the pencil down here, it tells us that I'm writing a lab report for a science fair. So that means that people will be judging it in a fair, right? I will include that what my experiment is, what I did, and what happened, and the conclusion I drew. So my experiment, what I did, what happened, and the conclusion I drew. So she went ahead and she learned what a fulcrum and a lever were by reading a mentor text, right? Then the icon, the pencil icon, is telling Leah what she will be writing, right? So we're going to use these same codes and these same symbols. So we're going to unpack our own assignments using what we learned from Leah's assignment. So we're going to go ahead and turn to page 135 to unpack our assignment for lesson 5 in our writing, okay? So guided practice. Here's Herschel. He says, let's read and mark your assignment. All right, our assignment. Ooh, how can you change the speed of a vehicle? Cool. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to read wheels and how to build a bottle car. Those are our 2 mentor texts. Right. So this is what we will be doing. Do an experiment, then write a lab report for your classmates. Explain your experiment and the results. All right. So our focus is writing a lab report for your class and explaining what you did in your experiment and the results. So at the beginning, you're going to tell what you wanted to find out and what materials we used. So experiment, materials, beginning. In the middle, explain what you tried and what happened. So what are your 2 different things you tried? Which worked better? What happened? All right. And then the end, you're going to draw a conclusion about the results here. So you're going to state what was the best one of what you did in the middle. So let's go ahead and unpack it a little bit farther by underlining the question that we're going to answer. So I'm going to go ahead and get my tool to annotate. And I'm going to use some black to annotate with. Our question that we're going to answer right here is by this question mark. How can you change the speed of a vehicle? That's what we're going to try and figure out, like a car, a train, any sort of traveling vehicle with wheels, right? All right. So now we're going to draw a box around what you're going to write. So I see that pencil down there, right? So that pencil's telling me what we're going to write. Well, first it says we're going to do an experiment, then write a lab report. So our focus is writing a lab report. Oops, let me undo that. Let me try that one more time for a box. Drawing a box is hard when you are on a computer. So we're writing a lab report for, it says to circle who will read what you wrote. It is for our classmates. That's our audience, right? So we're writing it to our classmates. Awesome. So I want us to stop and think, how is our assignment similar to Leah's? Well, Leah was given a question, right? And both lab reports are about an experiment and their results. So we're answering a question. Similar to Leah, we're going to be answering a question and explaining our results. And how are we going to end our lab report, right? Look here at the end. Right, we're going to draw a conclusion about our results. We're going to share our results. We're going to say about what changes we can make to a vehicle to affect its speed. Okay, so this sounds pretty fun to me that we might be able to get some materials and try this out and do some experimenting. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this out. If you need a minute to annotate, go ahead and pause it here. But I'm going to have us go ahead and think about what our quick write is for today. Our quick write will be, I would like for you guys to please answer this, write down a lab report tells blank. What does a lab report tell? I'm gonna give you a hint. It's about an experiment, right? So a lab report's gonna tell us the blank of the experiment. Think about what you're sharing at the end of your lab report, right? A lab report tells us, if you need to look back, go ahead and look back on page 135 and what you'll share at the end. So please go ahead and make sure you have this written. I'm going to stop sharing this. I will see you guys back tomorrow to go ahead and start gathering some information from our mentor text. So have a great rest of your afternoon and see you for writing tomorrow.